All right, this is our next episode of True Wrestling Fan Discussions. Today, we're continuing Jake the Snake Roberts' career. This is going to be from 87 to 90. Can you host Mike?
I'm Frank, and let's get into it. You got a lot to cover because 1987 to 1990, Jake was a busy guy.
Oh, yeah.
In early 1987, just Jake still was wrestling Hogan. We covered the whole at the end of the last episode how because he was a fan favorite, Vince squashed the whole thing.
Well,
But
because the thing is, because the fans rooted for him. He was still a heel, but the
yeah,
fans
but they were
were,
still they were
yeah.
still
Because
cheering for
he
him.
becomes a babyface when Honky Tonk blasts him, I believe, right? I think that's the story.
Oh yeah,
No.
he did wrestle Hogan twice for the title, both times unsuccessful. On January 29th in Providence, and again on February
Mhm.
28th in Winnipeg. Jake also came up short challenging for the tag titles against the Hart Foundation on March 6th in Tulsa when he partnered with Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Oh, wow.
So, and then Jake's babyface turn was official on February 21st, 1987, and he began a feud with the Honky Tonk Man. Honky attacked Roberts during an interview segment on the Snake Pit.
I remember this too.
Oh yeah, everybody does. If you
Yeah.
watched it back then, oh yeah,
Yeah, this
this
was
was great.
big. This was huge. Yeah.
Honky hit Roberts with his guitar, and the shot actually injures Roberts' neck.
Right, that's what he said, that he fractured like two vertebrae or something like that,
Hmm.
and that it wasn't a gimmicked guitar. That
No,
like
yeah,
I don't know, I
because
don't
at
know
the
how
time
something like that happens, but
somebody screwed up their job, unfortunately. Because at the time the guitars were not prepared to break easily.
right.
But Honky denies he intentionally tried to injure Roberts,
Yeah, I don't.
although Jimmy Hart suggests otherwise, with Roberts later claiming that he was picking pieces of wood out of his
Right,
back for
right.
weeks after.
He said that that's what started him on his painkiller addiction, I think.
Yeah,
I don't.
unfortunately, I mean it's possible, but I mean if those guitars are not if you pre-cut them, I mean that's
Right,
one
right,
thing, but
right,
if you
right,
get hit with it head on,
right.
I
If
mean
they didn't do the right job,
it's
yeah, yeah.
exactly. So also on February 21st at the Saturday Night Main Event number 10, Jake Roberts lost to King Kong Bundy by
Damn it.
disqualification. Where that match came from, but okay. However, this didn't air till March 14th. So the attack from Honky led to their match at WrestleMania 3 on March 29th in Pontiac, Michigan. Roberts had Detroit native and lover of snakes Alice Cooper, who looked like he was 90 back then and still
I
does
remember that,
now.
yeah. I remember that. That was cool though.
Uh, Alice Cooper in his corner. However, Jake lost to Honky on this night.
Damn it.
And on April 28th at Saturday Night Main Event 11, Jake Roberts also lost to Kamala. So he's got a little bit of a losing
What is
streak
going
going
on,
there.
man?
I don't. Well, I could tell you. Following the WrestleMania feud with Honky Tonk Man was, I should say, following WrestleMania, the feud with Honky Tonk Man was temporarily sidelined due to Jake's injuries, and then Ken Patera returning to WWE at the same time. On June 13th, 1987, Honky Tonk Man won the Intercontinental title from Ricky Steamboat.
Right,
However, the natural Butch Reed was originally scheduled to win the title.
right. Supposedly Hogan is the one that suggested Honky Tonk Man.
Yeah,
That's from Honky Tonk Man himself, so
yep. This is where it gets all like, okay, what's going on here? The initial plan was for Jake Roberts to win the IC title shortly after Honky won the belt, as Honky was going to be the placeholder,
okay.
and begin an angle with Ted DiBiase. But because of injuries from the guitar shot, the decision was made to keep the belt on Honky. Another story going around is Honky was meant to be a transitional champion for a short period until Jake wins the title. However, Jake Roberts failed several drug tests supposedly
Hmm.
following WrestleMania, so Honky was booked to remain champion. So,
Right. Yeah, there's so much going on at that point because then I remember a little bit later on, Honky Tonk Man, he refuses to drop the belt to Macho Man. And that leads to Macho Man becoming the world heavyweight champion. Yeah,
and I still say that Vince held the grudge until SummerSlam and knew the right time to bury the man for telling him no. I swear by that. I don't care.
it's possible.
You don't tell Vince no. I'm not doing this. Okay, you're not doing this. No problem. I mean, well, it was better for Macho anyway, and I've
It
said
worked
that
out for him, yeah.
before.
If
Exactly. He
that
becomes
story
world
is true,
champion.
yeah, it worked
Yeah.
out for him.
So, where was I? So throughout 1987, Roberts would challenge for the title and would be unsuccessful at getting it. Now, Roberts competed now at the first ever Survivor Series,
Hmm.
and I love the team that he was with because you look at it and go, geez, man. On November 26, 1987, he teamed with Randy Savage,
Yeah.
Ricky Steamboat, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and Brutus the Barber Beefcake to face the Honky Tonk Man, Harley Race, Danny Davis, Hercules, and Outlaw Ron Bass. Savage, Steamboat, and Roberts were all the survivors. Jake eliminated Danny Davis by pinfall. December 7th, Saturday night main event number 14. Jake Roberts defeats Sika. Sorry, Roman, but Jake's got to get one on your dad.
Yeah.
This event was aired January 2nd of 88. That was actually a good match. I do remember
Yeah.
that one when we did it.
Reviewed it. Yeah.
I actually thought that match was going to go the other way. Heading into 1988, January 24th, 1988, Roberts now competes in the first ever Royal Rumble. So he's got a lot to talk about when I competed he's at the first Survivor Series, first Royal Rumble, third WrestleMania. That's still, a pretty good
He was
accomplishment.
active, man. He was active.
He,
Man. He's popular.
he really was.
Yeah.
He was eliminated in that night by the one man gang. At WrestleMania 4, Roberts fought Rick Rude to a draw in the first round of the WWF title tournament.
That's what leads to their major feud.
Yeah. Yep. Now, Jake then began a feud with Ravishing Rick Rude. They began a gimmick, and and I stole this paragraph from the Rick Rude bio because it's the same thing. Same work here. Same guys. They began a gimmick where Bobby Heenan would select a woman from the crowd for Rude to kiss after each match. On the April 23rd edition of Superstars, Rude tried to get Robert's real wife, Cheryl, to participate. Rude didn't know that this was Robert's wife after Heenan chose her. After she rejected him and revealed who she was there to see, Rude became angry. After she slapped him and, according to Jake, busted Rude's eardrum, grabbed her wrist, and berated her on the microphone when Roberts came out to make the save.
Mm-hmm.
The feud escalated further during the summer when Rude wore tights with Cheryl Roberts' likeness on them.
Is that when he pulled his trunks down? You remember that? They had it censored, yeah.
Roberts came down, tore off the tights, and Rude was left with nothing but a G-string.
It was a great feud, man.
Learned his lesson.
Yeah, it was a great feud.
Now I
remember that. I have vivid memories of this feud.
It was great.
Yeah.
The one thing we talked about on Rude's bio as well as a SummerSlam was why weren't they in a match at SummerSlam '88?
Absolutely.
It made no sense that Rude fought JYD.
I agree with you on that. Yeah.
So, like I said, at SummerSlam, in a match involving Rick Rude and Junkyard Dog, Rude pulled down his tights to reveal a second pair with Cheryl Roberts printed on them. Rude won by disqualification when Roberts ran to the ring and attacked Rude. And, of course, later on that night, Jake Roberts defeats Hercules. Makes no sense. And Jake had to avoid a beating from JYD because he's like, dude, I'm sorry, the whole thing with my wife. Right. Yeah, forget those two matches. It just should have been Jake.
That really was his wife too.
Mm-hmm.
That was his real wife.
He's touring with her.
Yeah, I know they like kind of reconcile. I know they kind of like worked out their differences.
Oh yeah, everywhere he goes and on social media when he posts that he's at this and that, she's always with him.
Good to see. Yeah.
He's not looking too good though with the oxygen though, but I mean he is up there. But
been through a lot.
He has been. All of them have. Now, on October 24th, Roberts defeated Rude in a DDT versus Rude Awakening match. Then on the 25th, on the edition of Saturday's main event 17, Roberts defeated Rude by disqualification. Of course, the show aired on the 29th of October. The feud came to a conclusion at Survivor Series. It was Jake Roberts, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Ken Patera, Scott Casey, and Tito Santana against Andre the Giant, Ravishing Rick Rude, Dino Bravo, Mr. Perfect, and Harley Race. We had Perfectly Rude in there.
Oh yeah.
I saw you put that on social media too. Perfectly Rude versus the Warriors. Loved it. Roberts pinned Rude following a DDT. However, Rude's team was victorious as Perfect and Bravo were the sole survivors of the match. Unfortunately. Now, 1989 rolling around. He's in no title picture whatsoever, but he's still getting pretty decent feuds. His next one was January 15th, Roberts participated once again in the Royal Rumble. He entered at number 7 and lasted 2 minutes and 8 seconds before being eliminated by Andre the Giant.
Yeah. Andre was scared of the snake, remember?
Yeah, and Andre's really coming down at this point, and
He's the injuries and
Jake and Andre's prime. That match lasts 30 seconds. I'm sorry. Just
oh yeah.
you look at the difference between the two.
I know, but it was a good story with Andre being scared of snakes.
It was
Even
almost a heart attack on
yeah,
Saturday Night Main
and
Event.
Andre sold it. Even though like it's funny because when Jake was a heel, Andre was on the snake pit and he wasn't scared of snakes.
No, he wasn't.
But
But
when
now
he
all of a
became,
sudden he is. Yeah.
so that's all right. It's okay.
Robert's next feud was in fact now Andre. March 11th on Saturday Night's Main Event 20, Andre got involved in a match between Rude and Beefcake to aid Ravishing Rick Rude. Roberts comes to the ring, helps Beefcake, who won the match by disqualification. Roberts used his snake Damien to scare Andre, as we were just talking about. However, this feud saw Andre victorious after most of the matches on the house show circuit. But at 5, Roberts defeated Andre by DQ after Andre attacked special guest referee Big John Studd. That's probably the only way Roberts was going to get the victory, is if you put Andre's old rival in as the referee. Right. Which, by the way, you won the Rumble? Great. Go to WrestleMania and be a referee. We did nothing for you. You won a Rumble.
That didn't lead, it just let no one.
And he won the first ever 30-man pay-per-view Rumble. We're doing nothing with you. Shortly after his feud with Andre had ended, Roberts began now a feud with Ted DiBiase. Man, did I love this feud. In this feud, instead of fighting for the Intercontinental Championship, the prize of this feud was DiBiase's own $1 million championship. A few weeks after WrestleMania, DiBiase attacked Roberts on Superstars after Roberts defeated Virgil in a match. At the time, Roberts' problems with the disc in his back were public knowledge. In the attack storyline, Roberts was injured by DiBiase and needed time off to have surgery to repair the damage. After 4 months, Roberts returned and feuded with DiBiase through the end of '89 into 1990. On November 23rd, Roberts participated once again at the Survivor Series. He teamed with, should have DDT'd his ass when he had the chance, but Hulk Hogan and Demolition. And believe it or not, that actually is one of my favorite.
No, it's a great team.
Because back then, being the Hulkamaniac that we were, and I'm a huge Demolition fan, I loved this match.
Yeah.
Until the following year when we get the Warriors. That kind of superseded it.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. To face Ted DiBiase, Zeus, and the Powers of Pain. Roberts was eliminated by DiBiase, and of course, naturally, Hogan was the sole survivor. Gee, go figure. January 20th, 1990, Roberts stole the $1 million championship and placed it in the bag with Damien. He dared DiBiase and Virgil to reach into the bag and grab it. And I believe this was on the Brother Love show as well. Either that or it was just a regular interview, but it was interesting. About a month later, DiBiase then tried to buy Big Boss Man to retrieve the bag. However, he had a change of heart after he got the belt, told DiBiase he would have to earn it back, and told him he can't be bought. Bossman then gave back the bag to Jake the Snake Roberts. On January 21st, Roberts then now participated once again in his third Royal Rumble. He entered at number 4, lasted 10 minutes and 3 seconds before being eliminated by Randy Savage. But the highlight in that Royal Rumble was he got Ted DiBiase. You and me, big boy. You and me.
Yeah, it was good.
Of course, that wasn't the highlight of that Rumble. We all know what it was. January 27th, at Saturday Night's Main Event 25, Roberts defeats Greg the Hammer Valentine by DQ when DiBiase and Virgil interfered. So now the feud with DiBiase culminated at WrestleMania 6 in a match for the $1 million championship. This, to me, before the match, was one of the best interviews Roberts ever gave.
He had some great promos.
With Mean Gene Okerlund, he told DiBiase that the money you grovel for will be your very own. A victim of your own greed, wallowing in the muck of avarice. Holy shit.
He's tremendous on the mic, yeah.
Yes, he was.
They say that he was one of those guys that he only needed like one take to do it.
Oh, yeah. At first I thought, no, that's BS. But no, it's true.
Yeah, no, he had some great
microphone skills was definitely an A+ for him here. Unfortunately, on this night,
Damn it.
Yeah. Roberts loses the match by countout, which I didn't agree with that. I thought there should have been a fair winner, regardless. In any event, he lost by countout, and DiBiase regained his belt.
Damn it. Even though he never
After
lost it,
the,
really, but yeah, he
yeah,
got
I
it back.
know. That really should have been a title they kind of brought into. You remember
Eventually, right? They should eventually like,
they defended it twice,
right. I know
and
it's
then years later in NXT, it became a thing
right.
between Cameron Grimes and LA Knight when Roberts, when DiBiase was involved in
Hmm.
the whole storyline with them.
Right,
Though
right, right.
then I was like, are they bringing the belt back? No.
Well, yeah, and Austin was the
And Austin was $1 million champion
yeah.
that never defended the
All
title.
right. I don't know.
Oh man!
It was a
But
cool gimmick. That was a cool gimmick.
so DiBiase is champion. Virgil went down as champion. Austin went down as champion, and then you had the feud between Grimes and LA Knight for it. They both went down as champion. Oh, Lord. Now, after the match, Roberts gave DiBiase a DDT and then gave away DiBiase's own money into the crowd, especially giving a $100 bill to Mary Tyler Moore. And I love Ventura. She don't need that
Yeah,
$100
that's
bill.
funny.
I love when he went around and just gave it to
Hmm.
everybody after he DDT'd him, puts it into his mouth. So DiBiase got his just dessert there. Now, following that, next for Roberts was a brief feud with Bad News Brown. So you hit the top of the mountain to go to this.
Yeah,
I didn't agree with the decline in the feud,
Brown.
especially when Brown was leaving
Yeah, he was on his way out. Yeah.
in the summer of 1990. At SummerSlam on August 27th, Roberts defeated Bad News Brown.
That was the
With,
snake versus the rats, right?
that was a freaking possum. Who they Harlem
Remember
Sewer
you saying
Rat?
the
Are you
Harlem Sewer Rat? That was
serious?
hilarious.
We're from New York. We know what
Yeah.
they look like. That was a freaking
It's the
possum.
size of cats. Yeah. Oh, that was hilarious. That was funny though. It was funny. It was funny.
You want to see a big ass
That's
rat?
funny.
Go to the F train downtown Brooklyn. Them suckers are like beavers.
Master Splinter. Yeah.
Holy shit. Possum. Okay, yeah, we're buying that. Boss Man was a special guest referee for this one, which I thought was perfect for this. But now this is bad. This is bad news going
Hmm.
eventually, shortly after this. The feud was one pay, just like the Piper and Brown was one pay per view, and that's it. We're done. But in any event, following that, now Robert's next feud, he turns to the model Rick Martel.
That's right.
Oh boy! On October 6th, Martel blinded Roberts by spraying his cologne
Yeah.
arrogance
Arrogance. Yeah.
into his eyes. Now on the Brother Love show, he was spraying the Damien, and Roberts kept telling him, back off until finally Roberts gets there, and you sort of see the arrogance get,
Yeah. Yeah.
to make it look like he did, and he got sprayed in
He
the
sold
eyes.
it though. He sold it.
Oh, very,
I
very
remember.
much so.
Remember when me and my brother used to wrestle? We used to take the spray, the bathroom spray, and
I've done
spray it.
it.
Yeah, say this. Oh, arrogance, and he'd go, "Oh, my eye."
Don't try this at
Oh
home, huh? They
man,
should put that slogan for us.
yeah, good. That was good times. Good times, man.
It was. I remember the spray bottle thing. We
Yeah,
done it. Roberts went so far as to sell this
yeah.
that he wore white contact
Remember
lenses to
that.
prove the blindness.
Remember that. Yeah.
And they were like, you shouldn't be at the Survivor Series. Like, you shouldn't be wrestling
Hmm.
at this. But on November 22nd, Roberts participated at the Survivor Series, teaming with Superfly Jimmy Snuka and the Rockers to
Hmm.
face Rick Martel, the Warlord, and Power and Glory.
Yep.
Whole team survived because we know they go to the grand finale
Oh
match.
yeah.
Poor Jake, man. Oh,
Damn
he
it.
just 4-on-1. If I'm looking at that, I'm like, oh
Damn
shit.
it.
It's unfortunate. But their feud would culminate in
Hmm.
1991 in a blindfold match,
Yeah.
which was at WrestleMania 7. But 87 through 90 wasn't started off with the possibility of becoming champion and feuding with DiBiase. Okay, cool. But then everything else transpires, the supposed drug test, the injury
Hmm.
from Honky Tonk Man. He got decent feuds
He
in this
did.
timeline. I'm not going to lie about that because
Hmm.
feuding with eventually DiBiase, feuding with Andre was great because these two guys, DiBiase to me is still top
Oh yeah.
game.
Absolutely.
Andre's declining, but still it's good
Yeah.
for your career. Martel,
Martel was a
yeah,
good feud. It was a good
yeah.
feud.
Bad News Brown, piece of crap.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're doing.
No.
Just don't do it. Possum. Okay, I got you, possum. But I mean, it wasn't bad. But coming in 1991 and 92, Man, Roberts breaks that glass ceiling, boy. Let me tell you. That's
All
for
right.
our next episode.
Mhm. All right. Well, that's our review. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. See you guys soon.
Take care.